Hello again, and welcome to another bonus episode of Build the Ghostbusters Ecto-1. We're still in issue 5. This is stage 14, the end of the issue. We are going to be doing some of the suspension to go on that frame that we took out of the box basically a moment ago. So we'll get started. Okay, so first up, we're going to take the frame for the suspension, which is a cast part, and we're going to put a tab on it. This little tab here. Both of these parts are marked with an L. This is going to get 2 EM screws, except I didn't get any EM screws. Yes, I did. They're hidden here in the box. EM screws, okay. So this just fits through the front fork like that and will be secured. I'm going to pre-thread this. Okay, so this is kind of clever. The threads only cut into the outer frame, which means that they don't lock. You can't over-tighten this. And they hold this in place. They form a pin, basically. But they don't over-tighten and they don't grip into the middle part. So no matter how much you try to tighten this down, you couldn't actually prevent this from turning. That's clever. That's a good design. Next up, we're going to take a little egg-shaped piece. It's really just a little pin. This is going to probably hold a spring. That is going to go through from the underside, but I need a GP screw to do that. Okay, so there we go. We've got that little cone there. Next, we're going to move on to the upper suspension arm, which is this cast piece. It's another wishbone element. And we're going to take that other tab. This is similar but distinct from the first tab. It's got a hole through it instead of a pin. This is going to be secured with 2 more EM screws. I assume it's going to be similar. Okay, now this is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which side is up. And it's a little bit tighter fit, but it's still the same concept. The screws screw into the outer frame and form pins for the inner piece. I think the tighter fit is honestly because of the powder coat. So next we're going to be attaching another hinge element, very similar. This is going to go on the outer edge of that, like this. And that's going to be 2 more EM screws. So orientation-wise, this has 2 right angle pins. Those face what will be, I think, the outside of this edge, so that if you can see this curve, you shouldn't see those pins. So there we go. That all moves as needed. Now we are going to bring in the frame, and we are going to attach to this. Now, they've got it oriented this way. to be secured from the other side with HM screws. Okay, now that that is installed, we're going to take the first assembly that we did. This is going to get overlaid with this. Here somehow. There's a couple of brackets that are going to be involved. And these brackets have a step element to them. You can see that. That lets them fit on the base correctly. Otherwise, I believe they're identical. And these are going to be secured with IM screws. Total of 4, 2 on each bracket. Now we are going to be assembling brake drums, starting with these pieces. We have finished brake drum with cylinder, and I believe the other side of the drum. And some kind of internal element to that. This fits here. Going to be secured with EM screws. So that altogether it looks like that. We're going to fit the other half over this. And secure that with some HP screws because the drums are plastic. So, a completed brake element here. Now, this is going on parts we've just constructed. A JM screw is involved. Yeah, I see what they're trying to do. I need something to prop this with. Okay, that was quite a bit of effort, but ultimately it's together, and it fits, and it looks correct to the next steps. So, we have a large spring for the shock absorber. That is going to go in here. And yeah, here's the spring. It is a spring. I can compress it some, but it's quite tough. And it's going to go in. This is going to come down on top of it and clamp it. And the wheel and brake segment is going to secure it with an IM screw and a fair amount of pressure. If you watched the Build the DeLorean shock assemblies, you may recall that these are pretty tough. What I'm going to do again is pre-thread this a little bit so I've got some working space. This is quite tough. Okay, that was a lot. But now that that is secure, we're going to fit a central rod through this. Not quite sure. I might not have the right piece here. I don't. It really didn't make any sense to me with the piece I had in my hand. It's because it was the wrong one. This is the piece you want. And this will be secured with an HM screw. And again, I think we'll probably try to pre-thread this a little bit. Okay, with a little bit of finesse, you end up with a post through your spring right there in the middle. I don't know how well you can see it here. You can sort of see it from the front. Okay, now the last steps we're doing are the steering rack, which is that first couple of pieces I picked up, or the first single piece I picked up, and the rest of the rack. This is going to involve an HM screw to put these two pieces together. Okay, so those go together with that screw as a pin. And as far as orientation goes, there's 2 holes on the top and 2 holes on the, I'm going to call it the back of this, so that when you put them together, that's the orientation you want to see between them. Now, this is going to fit across this space, and that pin will go into the lug on the wheel. And that's going to be secured with a KM, which is again one of those pan head screws meant to provide a pivot. Okay, and after a lot of fuss and some pretty impressive dents in my hand, which you probably can't see that well, yeah, that's the first piece of the steering rack installed. That's going to let the wheels turn. So that is it for episode 14 and issue number 5. And if you like what you see, please do subscribe and keep watching. Check out those playlists for any episodes you might have missed, and have a good one, guys.